All right, I show you live.
All right, we are live on the video over at Google, and in just a few seconds, we should be live on video and audio on Alpha Geek Radio. Let me know when we're up, Steve. All right, in the meantime, I'm going to do roll call. We got roll call. We got Donald Burr and Steve and Chattybot. You can make Chattybot say Hodor if you want, if you know that command. All right, it looks like Alpha Geek Radio just announced we are live on the air, Steve.
We are.
So that might have worked. We've got Dan and Nuris and Rose and Lewis and Sandy. And let's see, Switcher Mark. How exciting to have you here. And Wannabe is new here for the first time. So we got to make sure we give him or her a good welcome here. Actually, Wannabe has not told us their real name yet, but if they choose to, we will know whether we say him or her at least at the end of that. We have liftoff. All right, Sandy can see me there. Okay, let's see. Let's do a little sound check. Oh, I need to save GarageBand. File save as. And we're going to go NosillaCast audio 2015. Here we go. And C underscore 2015 underscore 0524. There we go. All right, let's do a little test recording. Here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. I am crooked in my chair or something here. I'm off. Oh, I know what's wrong. We moved my monitor a bunch. There we go. That looks better. Okay, let's hear how that sounds. See if you guys can hear playback. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. Looks like I'm a little bit quiet on that recording. I'm going to move up a little bit. I was getting some weird peaking. Yeah, now I'm getting that hiss if I go too high. There's like a switch, Steve. It's like a hot point where I hit this, it goes. Okay, that's about as high as I can go. Let me try that again. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. Hope this interface isn't going. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com. Guess that's okay, but that's kind of quiet. What do you think, Steve?
I think it sounds pretty good, actually.
Does it? Okay. All right. Playback sounds good there. Okay. It's pretty, just the little waveform. It's little compared to what it normally looks like. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I should mention to anybody who's watching, it's kind of a circular logic thing here, but if you're not watching on Alpha Geek Radio, it turns out you can watch on Alpha Geek Radio. You can listen on Alpha Geek Radio and watch. I don't know, Steve, do they call it Alpha? It's Alpha Geek Media now, I think, right?
The pod site is still alphageekradio.com, but you could probably get to it without Alpha Geek Media. Now, the one thing that it offers that there is no other means is a mobile video podcast. And I need to get that link from Todd.
Oh, okay. There will be a mobile video link eventually. Okay, that's good to know. But you're on screen, by the way.
It exists now. I just
it does.
forget what the link is.
Okay. Let's see. The other thing is, and you can get that video link. You can actually watch it on your Roku if you're clever. There seems to be some trick to it, though. So anyway, all right, Steve, I'm going to cut you off. Wave goodbye.
All right. I'll be cut.
All right. Where are you? Go away. Mute from broadcast. Hide from broadcast. There we go. All right. It's all me now. Okay. Nurse is listening on the phone. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday, May. Okay. You are not muted. You're coming through, Steve. Actually, I just realized something. They couldn't hear a thing you said. I'm going to try and hide you again. Okay, I can't. You're going to have to mute yourself. Okay. And I can't hide you. For some reason, you're not hiding. All right, I'm going to start this over again. I just realized they couldn't hear a word you said. I always think they can, but I haven't figured out how to pipe that around. There's a way to do it. All right, here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Macintosh bias. Today is Sunday, May 24th, 2015, and this is show number 524. Well, today we passed the 500 mark in our Google Plus community over at podfeet.com/Google Plus. I was just happened to be dinking around and I noticed it said 499. So I did a tweet and I said, hey, somebody push us over 500. Well, a couple people did it right away. The only one I've been able to figure out exactly who joined was Gary Benny. So welcome aboard. Gary Benny is our 500th Google Plus community member. We have a lot of fun over there. Go on over and check it out. A lot of good people helping each other. And I think that's really, really fun over there. And I use it a lot as a great resource to get help for me. So go check it out. My daughter was nicknamed Ghiblies by her roommates in college because she has shaky hands. Most of the time, her Ghiblies aren't a problem, but a few weeks ago, she wanted to take a picture and asked her darling husband for his iPhone, which she promptly dropped and shattered the screen. Well, 2 days later, she dropped her own iPhone, shattering that screen too. The good news for Lindsay was that when I bought it for her for Christmas, I bought it with AppleCare. I'm a huge proponent of AppleCare, especially for things that we can carry around. The iPhone deal in the US at least, is that it extends your hardware warranty from 1 year to 2 years and phone support from 90 days to 2 years. But it also gives you 2 repairs for any kind of accidental damage. You do have to pay $79 for each repair, but it's cheaper than the $109 Apple charges to replace the screen. You also get the refurb on the spot instead of waiting for days for a repair, and it protects you from other kinds of accidental damage like that pesky water electronics seem to seek. Unfortunately for her husband, Nolan's iPhone was out of AppleCare because it was over 2 years old. The good news is that he went ahead and finally upgraded to an iPhone 6 Plus, and now he's really happy that Ghiblies gave him an excuse to get a new iPhone. Well, right around that time, Honda Bob, my longtime mechanic and friend and NosillaCastaway, called me up to tell me that he dropped his phone and cracked the screen. Being a mechanic, he wanted to fix it himself, but he didn't have the tiny pentalobe screwdriver or the teeny tiny suction cup to pull off the screen. I proudly announced that I have the handy dandy 70-piece toolkit from iFixit, so I could actually loan him a tool for once. How fun is that? Anyway, then I got a great idea. I thought maybe we could have a play date and replace the screens on both iPhones together. We went out independently to look for screens. He found one through Amazon that was $35 before tax and shipping for the full screen assembly. That includes the screen, but also the camera and home button. Now, I've always been a fan of iFixit, and especially for all the free instructions you can get over there. So I thought I should throw them some business and buy my screen assembly through them. However, the price there was $65 before tip and tax. I wrote a question in the iFixit forums there asking, is it worth the price premium? That's almost double. I explained that I was probably going to go ahead and do it anyway out of loyalty alone, but I was hoping for more justification from someone. Hopefully iFixit themselves. Well, iFixit did get back to me, and they explained that they test the components themselves and the parts come with a 1-year warranty, so they stand behind those parts. Good enough for me. I went ahead and bought the iPhone 5 display assembly kit from iFixit. Well, Honda Bob came over and we got to work. Even though we set up on our kitchen table where Steve has put in a lamp so bright white that people tell us we could probably do surgery in there, we quickly realized we needed more light. I went and got the standing LED magnifying lamp my friend Diane convinced me to buy for my cross-stitch work, and then we were in business. I'm sure Michelle will like that I'm reusing a cross-stitch lamp for tech. How fun is that? Anyway, the first step is to take out 2 itty-bitty tiny itsy-bitsy pentalobe screws. That was really easy. The second step, though, is to pull the screen off using that little suction cup that comes in the iFixit toolkit. Funny story, when I first got the iFixit toolkit, I didn't know what that little suction cup was for because I knew about the 2 big ones that you use on pulling off an iMac monitor. And when I got that kit, I was like, what is this little one for? But when Honda Bob said he needed a little tiny suction cup, that's when I figured it out. Anyway, pulling that off with a suction cup sounds easy too, but it was the hardest part of the process for me. You have to hold on to the edges of the phone without touching the glass and then pull as hard as you can at an angle with a suction cup. I'm embarrassed to admit that I actually had to have Bob do the first one because I could not pull it off. Now, Nolan's phone was a little bit trickier because most of the screen was shattered, so a suction cup wouldn't stick to it. Honda Bob's was just kind of the corner. iFixit suggested covering it with strapping tape. They also said it's a good idea so you don't get shards of glass all over the place when you do chip it out of there. Well, having seen Bob succeed pulling his off, I was bound and determined to pull Nolan's screen off myself, and I was in the end successful. It was still really hard. Once we were inside, it was actually a cakewalk to pull this thing apart. We had to remove 3 microscopic screws that held down a very small metal bracket, then pop off 3 connectors. I'm not actually being sarcastic. I know it's hard to tell with me sometimes. It really was that easy. I figured going into this that I would be helping Honda Bob, not because I had better mechanical chops, that's for sure, but because he's got these giant sized hands made for car size parts, not miniature iPhone size parts. As embarrassed as I was to admit that I needed his help pulling the screen off, I'm even more embarrassed to admit that I needed his help feeding the teeny tiny little connectors back into place to put it back together. 2 of the 3 cables were relatively easy to align back on their wee tiny connectors, but the third one, it seemed like it was actually too long to bend into position to meet the connector. Bob and I took turns, and Bob in the end was able to get the first one in place. And again, after watching him work, I knew it was possible, so I was bound and determined to get the second one in place on myself, and I did succeed with that. By the way, to show you what I mean about his giant hands, we took a photo of him putting in one of the tiniest little screws back in place, and that, of course, is in the show notes, along with some other photos. He really surprised me with the dexterity with those man paws of his. We were almost 100% successful with our repairs. With Bob's phone, when we tried to press the glass back in place, we pressed on either side of the home button, and a tiny crack developed in that narrowest part of the glass. He was going to put a glass screen protector on anyway, and it's barely visible, so he wasn't too distressed by it. I'm not sure if it's how he put the glass on or by any chance the fault of the component itself. I don't know. I don't know where these parts come from. I can't say. We were very cautious on the second one to press on the button area itself on Nolan's phone, and it went back into place perfectly. I can highly recommend doing this yourself if you have the nerve, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. All right. That was a long time to record without keeping an eye on you guys. Let me see what you guys are talking about. Oh, Horse is here. Hey, Horse, how you doing? I didn't even notice. Oh, Wannabe's listening on an Asus. Is that an Asus laptop, Wannabe? Let's see. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, Steve's got the, Steve's using the cozy that Rose actually sent us those. You can tell we've used them a lot, Rose, because they're getting kind of raggedy looking. We should probably wash them. Video on phone via Safari, chat on iPad. How'd you get that? Wait a minute. You can watch the video on the phone? I didn't think you could. Whoa, I did not know that, Horse. All right. 3 for 3 on cracked screens in this show. Oh, actually, where is it? Show it off. Oh, here it is. See? Look. Perfect. Good as new. Ooh, ah. Aren't you excited? I know everybody else has probably already done this already, but it was the first time for me. Apple ID is frozen. Who said to put it in the microwave? Nice, Horse. Wait, Lewis, why is your Apple ID frozen? That's not good. Oh, with Apple server in. Oh no. That's terrible. I'm catching up. I was on phone for 2.5 hours. Oh, that's terrible. The Genius Bar for 2 hours and they can't figure it out. Actually, Nth Mike. I think Nth Mike snuck in once before, but we didn't get to chat much. Oh no, that's terrible, Lewis. That's just awful. That is not good. Let's see. Wannabe, did we ever get your, I'm probably missed it. Did we ever see your, get your real name? Because it's more fun if we know if you're a boy or a girl or what you'd like to be called. If you want to be called Wannabe, we can certainly go with that. All right. Let's see. Here we go. At NAB, one of the great joys was getting to hang out with the wonderful folks from Boinks. I should say Boinks Software. At NAB, one of the great joys was getting to hang out with the wonderful folks from Boinks Software. Bastian Wolf is one of the funniest people I know. CEO Oliver Breidenbach is so much fun to tease. And it was really great fun to meet his brother, Akeem Breidenbach, who works there too, for the first time. We'd never met him before. We had breakfast with them in LA before NAB. We had breakfast with them again in Las Vegas, and we harassed them a lot at their booth at NAB. We figured the least we could do was an interview on the show floor. Here's Bastian Wolf telling me about the new Boinks TV 2. Actually, is that why you're a wannabe? Because you want to be a Mac person? That's funny. We like everybody here. We like diverse points of view too. Let's see. All right, we'll take that. We're going to put Boinks. I didn't already play Boinks, right? For some reason, I keep thinking I did.
Al, I thought you did play Boinks.
Can you go double check? Can somebody check?
Oh, no, you posted it, but you didn't
play it.
Podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we checked that. Okay.
All right. I like you being able to mute yourself in and out, but I got to figure out how to pull your audio. I don't know how to pull your audio out and pipe it back to the live show. Wait a minute. No, they're listening to the video. Can you guys hear Steve? Oh, Kiwi Spoon is here. Wow, we're getting a big crowd. And Edie snuck in. I think you're not muted, honey. Yes, I can hear you clicking. Now I can't. Very good. Was an interview on the show floor. Here's Bastian Wolf telling me about the new Boinks TV 2. I'm in the Boinks booth with Bastian Wolf, and I never know what's going to happen when I talk to Bastian. I'm a little afraid.
Neither do I, to be honest.
He said he was going to talk about the taco you had for lunch, but I'd really like to hear more about Boinks TV.
Okay, yeah, well, it's your choice.
We could go that way.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we're coming up with Boinks TV 2, which is one version further than Boinks TV 1, of course, and it's going to change a lot. You don't like my glasses?
I can't see a darn thing with your glasses on. Let me put mine back on.
Okay.
So, yeah. From the top, assume people have never heard of Boinks TV.
Okay, Boinks TV is a live video production software. It does like camera switching, it does chroma keying, title.
All right, we're done with this. There we go. Whoops, what did I just do? I didn't mean to do that. All right, no on Allison's mic. Yeah, so if you're listening on the app, I wouldn't think, I don't see how you would be able to hear it because it's not coming from the Google Hangout. I'm sending audio to the Google Hangout. But if you're watching the Google Hangout, you should definitely be able to hear Steve. That's probably the difference. All right. I was going to say so. Oh, so Steve just told me the numbers in Alpha Geek Radio. I believe that's pretty close to an all-time high. So that's really fun. Well, bye, Mark. It's nice of you to join in for just a minute there. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm now stop being in the right window. Bastian.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, I can't believe. I can't believe. I can't wait.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I can't wait until Boinks TV 2 comes out. That sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun to play with. Well, one of my favorite things about doing the NosillaCast is the emails I get from people when they send in their first audio review for the show. They usually go something like this. Wow, that was hard. I had to re-record 28 times. It took me forever to do a 30. I'll get it yet. Okay. Can't believe I can't make that work. Come on. One of my favorite things about doing the NosillaCast is the emails I get from people when they send in their first audio review for the show. They usually go something like this. Wow, that was really hard. I had to re-record 28 times. It took me forever to do a 3-minute review. How do you do it every week? Anyway, I love it because these people come away appreciating the sport that is podcasting. Of course, after they do a few, they get the hang of it and they aren't so amazed anymore, but at least it's fun for a while. I bring this up because I've experienced the same thing on the flip side doing videos for Don McAllister's Screencasts Online. You cannot believe how hard it is to do what he does. I'm only doing a tutorial every couple of months and it's positively exhausting. Here's the typical process I go through. First, spend a week or so perusing my applications folder to find a suitable application to record. Realize that the app you've chosen is either too esoteric and not enough people would get something out of it, or it's too simple so it won't fill a 30-minute show. Go back, peruse applications some more, and find a good app to record. Next, I like to storyboard out what I'm going to say. I like to use iThoughts X or is it called iThoughts 10? The one with an X. Anyway, to do a mind map because it lets me throw out a jumble of stuff I want to say and later organize it by dragging the bubbles around until I get a cohesive story. All right, now I got to go research the vendor's website to find out their pricing model. Do they have a free trial? And I like to read their documentation to make sure I know how to use the tool well. I often know a tool for what I use it for, but it often has more capabilities I don't know about, and I need to be thorough. Now it's time to practice. Even on tools I know really well, I have to practice so I can demonstrate and talk at the same time. It's trickier than you would think. I need to be able to explain why I'm doing something, not just click buttons. By now, you'll notice that I haven't even launched ScreenFlow, the fabulous screencasting software from Telestream that we use to do these videos. My user account has all kinds of crazy hoopla going on in it. I've got weird extensions that make strange noises, and it's got a goofy background. I created a second user account called Screencast Online so it would match what Don's looks like. You know, you got to have some consistency there. I downloaded his official Screencast Online desktop background. I set the screen resolution for recording. It's really important to get the best resolution, so Don likes it at 1280 by 720 with high DPI. In order to talk a Mac into doing that resolution, you needed to install a system preference pane called Switch ResX from madrow.com. Note that even if I've been in the account like an hour ago, when I log back in, the screen resolution will have reset itself. So I have to fix this every single time. The downside of this is that now your computer monitor looks like a Fisher-Price toy because the resolution is so low. When you're doing a screen recording, it's really annoying if you ask an application to open a window and it opens on your second monitor. You have to open up the display preferences pane, click on arrange, and then drag the little white menu bar over to your recording monitor to make sure it's the main monitor. This one always flips back on its own, so I have to check it every single time. Now I close the window so the audio doesn't record the birds outside or the weed whacker the neighbor just decided to use. I unplug the phone, turn down the intercom in case somebody rings the doorbell, take the collar off the dog so she doesn't make noises when she walks around or does that shake thing that dogs like to do. All right, we're almost ready. I should probably go downstairs to get a snack first, right? Maybe some water. Oh man, the laundry needs to be folded. I better get that done first. All right, back upstairs. Got to focus. Got to start. Oh, shoot. I forgot. There's a file I need back over on my normal user account. Hey, look, someone's wrong on Twitter. Better fix that. Ooh, that article looks interesting. I might need to put that on Google+. Darn. Well, it's dinner time. I can start on this tomorrow. You'll notice that I'm going to have to go back and start all that stuff back over on that account when I get back to it tomorrow. At some point, I actually start, but it can take me days to start. I don't know why, but starting is really hard for me. This week, I finally got started recording 2 days before the video was due back to Don. Remember, I had like 60 days to prepare for this. I'm like that kid who wakes up 2 days before the science fair and realizes, oh no, is that today? I had 9 months to prepare and I have done nothing. Well, this week was super entertaining because I had recorded the intro where I explained the problem to be solved. I showed the download, I installed the software, and I started to do the first part of the demo, and then the software started failing. I'm not going to tell you what the software was because it's wonderful software from a very responsive vendor who's trying really hard to diagnose why it's failing on me. We just can't figure it out. It has not failed in probably 7 years of me using it, but for the life of me, it would not work properly when I was trying to record it. That meant in 1 day, I had to find another app, research it, storyboard it, practice it, and make the recording. Now, I'm not telling you the story to make you feel sorry for me. I'm telling you because when I told Don this, all he said was, yeah, don't you hate when that happens? No surprise at all because he'd lived through that same kind of thing so many times. Another time I'd actually got prepared well ahead of time, started recording a full week in advance of the due date, only to have the vendor come out with a new version at the end of the week. Again, Don said, yeah, don't you hate when that happens? I've always said that Don's magic is that he's so skilled at learning and explaining software, but after screencasting a mile in his shoes, I think it said he doesn't lose his ever-loving mind doing this job. All right.
Okay, I have a request.
What?
I need to show Kevin my shirt.
Okay. Well, I'll go read the chat room. Wait. I got to put you big. Actually, I can just undo me.
Big in me?
And big in you. Okay, talk.
All right, Kevin, this is for you. I want to know, have you been to this place? We vacationed there and had a great time. Really
Hold
enjoyed
still.
it.
Hold still. You read it, moving around. Hold still.
How's that? Enough?
Okay, that should be enough. All right. Well, I'm glad Steve did that. What score did you give the MacBook so far? Oh, that's a good question, Louis. I really, really like it. I'm still not used to the keyboard. It's good. It's not great for me. I really want to love it. And some people love it. Some people don't. I think it's good, but it's weird. It's got such low travel. It's kind of strange for me. So I'm not entirely sure that I love it yet. I love the weight. I love the screen. I'm not missing. I thought I'd really feel cramped in a 12-inch screen versus a 15 when it's on my lap downstairs, but it doesn't really, it's not really bothering me at all. I think it's great. And just to be able to, throw it around like this. Oh, I went on a walk to see a friend of mine that's a geek. And so I just stuck it in my purse and carried it with me. And it's like a bit heavier, a little more than twice what an iPad weighs, but that's not too bad. Oh, my video is not showing?
No, when I went to show my shirt, it was blank. Do you still have me? Are you attempting to mute me still?
I can't mute you. And
you have the button selected so that it's attempting to.
That's not how it works. I see hide from broadcast, present to everyone, profile, eject, and mute. Those are my 4 choices. And when I hit them, they don't change to unhide. They don't change at all. So I have no power over you right now for some reason. You've escalated your privileges in some way.
It's interesting. When I'm talking, my video is going out for some reason. It's just a blank display.
Down below?
No, what is coming out through Google Plus, the Hangout.
They're saying when you pop up, it's black?
Right. When I talk and I pop up, it's blank.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why that would be.
I can try hitting that mute button or that disappear button again. Let me try it. Let me click hide from broadcast again. Like I said, it doesn't tell me. Okay, now talk.
All right, I'm talking, testing. I'll know in about 40 seconds because of the time delay.
We're talking or not talking. We can talk about soup. Did you get my Brian Regan joke, Steve?
I did. You mean in your post?
I just said it too.
Yes. Well, I read it earlier. Yes, I did. Very cute.
All right. Well, is the 40 seconds up or do I have to sit here and vamp waiting?
No, I think it's still blanking me. That's all right. We'll have to show Kevin later.
All right. I'll take a picture of you and send it to you. Okay. Mute away. All right. So Steve, you could just tell him what the shirt is of. All right, here we go. Steve, you're not muted. All right, I think you're muted now. Okay, here we go. If you've ever experienced any repetitive stress from using a traditional mouse, or if you hope to avoid it ever happening to you, you might want to consider the Contour Roller Mouse Red. It's a very unusual pointy device. It's not a roller ball. It's not a trackpad. It's not a mouse. Let's hear from the interview at NAB with Contour, where you're going to hear what it actually is. That was clumsy, but we're going to stick with it because I want to keep moving. All right, we'll drop you up there. Google Hangouts acting up. I can see my own video and can pod feed in the live Hangout, but the distributed version doesn't show my video. Which word? Contour, where you're going to hear what it actually is. Okay, it's too slow. Interview at NAB with Contour, where you're going to hear what it actually is. I'm in the Contour booth with Andrew Morgan, and he was using something really strange looking with his keyboard, and I couldn't figure out what it was, so we decided to ask him about it. How you doing, Andrew?
I'm good. Yeah, so this is the Roller Mouse Red Plus, and it's an ergonomic solution to the average mousing. and it provides much more comfortable feel to mousing, removing that whole clawed hand that you get, and reducing the pain in your wrists or in your shoulders by just giving you a very nice squared up position against your keyboard.
So this is audio as well as video. So for the people who can't see what we're looking at, describe what you're showing to us. Because this is not a mouse. This is not a trackpad. This is not a roller ball.
Well,
what is this?
So, well, it is a mouse, but it's a roller bar. So the idea is that it has a large wrist rest with a small button section, as well as a roller bar with a tube on it.
And it's a cylinder, the length of the keyboard with a roller thing on it.
Yes, and actually with our design, there's a sensor inside.
This thing is really expensive, but make your boss pay for it. Tell him it's or her it's for ergonomics and safety. Looks expensive, but it looks really cool. Really, 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 really cool. All right. How do you feel the NosillaCast audio is much less delayed than the Google Hangouts? Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I'm the star of the show. Why does everybody want to hear Steve? There might be a way to pipe it out. I'll have to think about that. All right, here we go. All right, that sounds really good. Thanks a lot, Andrew.
Great, thank you very much.
Apple has brought out several new products lately that are making it hard to choose a laptop. It's easy to tell people what to buy based on your own needs, but that doesn't mean your answer would be right for them. Now that Apple has a pretty deep bench of laptops, it's even harder to tell the right answer. Recently, my husband Steve, our friend Ron, and I all bought new laptops. In all cases, they were our second machine, so you would think maybe we would end up with the same machine, but we all bought 3 completely different models. That got me thinking that a nice little Q&A might help people determine which model is right for them. So let's go through those. I want a Mac laptop. What should I get? Check out the 12-inch MacBook. Weighing in at an amazing 2 pounds, it has a gorgeous Retina screen and a battery that lasts all day. It's got that fancy Force Touch trackpad and the new Scissor Key keyboard. It even comes in 3 colors, silver, space gray, and gold. The 12-inch MacBook isn't powerful enough for me with that Core M processor. I know it's not powerful because I heard about one article that said it was the same speed as a 2011 MacBook Air. I like to think of myself as a power user. Of course, I haven't tested the new 12-inch MacBook with my applications, nor have I read any reviews since that article was first published. All right. Can I suggest the 15-inch Retina MacBook Pro? You can max it out with the Intel i7 processor, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and a 1 terabyte SSD. It's a fabulous workhorse of a machine. It's recently been updated to include the Force Touch trackpad, so you'll have all the bells and whistles. Well, but the 15-inch MacBook Pro is too darn heavy at 4.46 pounds. All right. Well, maybe the 13-inch MacBook Pro is right for you. It too can be maxed out to an Intel i7, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and a 1 terabyte SSD. Like the 15-inch model, the 13-inch has a Force Touch trackpad now too. Well, but the 13-inch MacBook Pro is still too heavy at nearly 3.5 pounds. It's so thick and chunky at 0.71 inches thick. All right, I bet you'd enjoy the 13-inch MacBook Air then. It's at least thinner on one edge than the 13-inch MacBook Pro. It weighs 15% less at just a smidgen under 3 pounds. It's got the power you seek because you can push the MacBook Air up to an Intel i7. But you will be capped at 8 gigabytes of RAM and a 512 gigabyte SSD. But that's still pretty amazing in that thin little laptop. This machine was recently upgraded to the newest Intel Broadwell chipset, which makes it faster while requiring less battery, so the power life is insane. But I want a Retina screen. All right, just go away and leave me alone now then. All right, I don't know if that worked, but I was having fun writing it, so I had a good time doing that one. Oh, you're John. John, you can call yourself John, by the way, if you want. You can write /Nick space and then your whatever you want to be called. All right. It's fun getting new people in here. All right. Okay, here we go. I'm a pretty big fan of gestures on the Mac. I'm not a crazy person about it, but there's a few on which I depend constantly. I cannot stand hard clicking on a trackpad. I gotta say, I don't mind it as much on the force click. I gotta say that. It's a little less annoying, but in general, I don't like it. And I love to use 3 fingers to drag a window around. One of the very first things I do when I'm on a new Mac is enable tap to click and 3-finger drag in System Preferences. You look in there, it's under System Preferences, Trackpad, Point and Click. Imagine my display. Okay, let's start this whole thing over. I don't like it. Don't like it. Oh, save. There's a good idea. Thanks, Lewis. I'm a pretty big fan of gestures on the Mac. Not a crazy person about it, but there's a few on which I depend constantly. I can't stand hard clicking on a trackpad. It's a lot better on the Force Touch trackpad, by the way. It doesn't bother me as much, but in general, I don't like hard clicking. I love to use 3 fingers to drag a window around too. One of the very first things I do when I'm on a new Mac is to enable tap to click and 3-finger drag. You find that in System Preferences, Trackpad, Point and Click. Imagine my dismay when I went to that preference pane on my new 12-inch MacBook, only to find that the 3-finger drag was gone. I went off to the Googles and buried in an Apple discussion forum. A person named Deep Rich explained that it's still there, but for some reason, Apple decided to bury it in the accessibility preference pane. And by bury it, I mean 6 levels deep. I'm reasonably good at following text explanations, but I decided this was crying out for a Clarify document. Using Clarify's built-in screenshot tool on my MacBook Pro, I showed where the 3-finger drag used to be. So that's on my MacBook Pro because I was able to bring it up, right? I saved the document, the Clarify document, right into Evernote. That did the sync to the cloud dance in a couple of seconds. So I was able to open Evernote on my MacBook and pull up the same Clarify document. Then I took the rest of the screenshots showing how it's missing on the MacBook and then walking through the 6 levels of inception to reveal the toggle for 3-finger drag. I typed in explanations on each step, changed the titles of the steps to be clever and entertaining, and then I posted the document to tutorials over on podfeet.com. As always, this will be useful to others searching now, and it will definitely help me when I completely forget how to do this next time. If you need to, want to, or have to make instructions for yourself or others, check out a free trial of Clarify over clarify-it.com. Sorry, Lewis, you'd asked me earlier, what did I think of the trackpad? Trackpad's great. I don't know that the Force Touch is that amazing. It's nice for regular tapping. Force Touch I have used a couple of times. It's funny, I didn't think I would ever need to use it for looking up words, but I've actually 2 or 3 times now thought, well, it's right there. I might as well use it because I did want to know what something stood for. But it's, other than that, I mean, it feels like a regular trackpad. It's big. It's really, really big. Actually, we compared it. It's bigger than the trackpad on the 12-inch MacBook. Oh, I forgot to do this, didn't I? Oh, well. Oh, yeah, it's bigger than the one on the 15, too. It's huge. Save, there's an idea. Yeah, so if you don't use Force Touch, it doesn't hurt anything. But I'm just not sure what it is beyond a party trick. I do enjoy doing the party trick, though. I do it to people all the time. I show them how they can click it, and then you turn the power off on the MacBook, and it doesn't click anymore, and they make you turn it back on to test it again. It's pretty funny. All right, Steve, get ready for a symbols check. Let's see.
Ready for symbols check.
Thank you, dear. Okay, here we go. Check out a free trial of Clarify over clarify-it.com. Oh, way too long. I'm not even going to ask you. Let's try that again. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Chit Chat Across the Pond, and still too long? All right, we'll bring him in a little bit. One more time. I'll bring him up a little bit. That's as far as I'm going to go. I'm not going any farther than that. that time of the week again. It's time for Chit Chat
good.
Across the Pond, and I could not be happier to have Bart Busschots on the show this actual day. And why would that be, Bart?
That would be because Ireland has made some history today. And actually, my better half just reminded me that we had this vote on marriage equality on Harvey Milk Day.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't realize yesterday that it was Harvey Milk Day, but just today, it was like, oh, hang on a second. Yesterday it was, and we voted yesterday. So for those of you who haven't caught up with the news, although I think it's making the American media quite strongly.
Oh, it's huge, yeah.
So Ireland is now the 21st country in the world to have marriage equality, and we're the first of those 21 to do it by referendum. So in other words, we put it to a vote of the entire country, and the entire country went thumbs up. The final number isn't in, but it's looking to be about 60%, 40%.
That's fantastic. I mean, that's not a slim margin.
No, and what really surprises me, so there's a link in the show notes to the electoral map, and as we record, there's 3 constituencies out of 43 that haven't reported, so 40 out of 43 are in, and out of those, there are 39 yeses and 1 no. And the expectation was that the cities would be green and the rural areas would be red, and it's just not worked out like that. That stereotype just didn't hold, which is great.
Green.
Just green, yeah.
Well,
Part of the one little bit.
That one that's no. You said it was like 51-49 too.
It's 48.6 to 51.4.
Yeah, and
So
the
that's
other
close,
thing is the voter turnout was insane, right?
Right. The final number isn't in yet, but it's definitely in the 60s. And if it's not the highest in any referendum, definitely the highest. Their turnouts like we'd be happy with on an election day for our government. And the only thing people went to vote on today was marriage referendum and whether or not we should lower the age for our president, which we didn't do.
And just to put that in perspective for the U.S. listeners, the highest number I could find in voter turnout for a presidential election was not as high as 60% in the last, 15, 20 years.
Well, what really caught me actually was in the weeks as the time was closing for people to register to vote, there were queues of young people queuing up to register to vote. There were queues of young people voting. And what really made, like, if you really want your heartstrings tugged, check out the hashtag on Twitter, Home to Vote. In Ireland, you can't vote by postal ballot. So these are pictures of people on trains and planes in groups with rainbow-coloured balloons coming home from Australia, from Sweden, from the UK, home to vote. It's really heartwarming stuff.
Wow. Very, very cool. Well, we are going to get into some tech stuff here, but this is that was just too exciting to not celebrate.
Well, I was going to say my brain is just there, like, because it was so nerve-wracking. As the vote came close, it was like, oh, yeah. But it worked out good.
Fantastic news. All right. What are we going to do in Lua? Oh, it says security medium. It doesn't start with security light.
Yeah, but it says AKA why there is no need to set your hair on fire.
Okay, good.
I've noticed a sort of a pattern in the security mediums that actually they're serving a new role. They're serving the role of telling you not to panic, which I think is important.
Security light is here's something that went wrong and what you can do to fix it. Security medium is here's some stuff that everybody's going to tell you that the world is coming to an end, but it's not really.
Yeah, so this
and then I just don't let you tell us about the other stuff.
Well, it's possible that in the future I may have to do one where I'm saying, look, you need to be careful here because there's this bad thing happening. But at the moment, the media tend to make things that are a little bit bad seem catastrophic.
Yeah.
And I think we should sort of counter that with a bit of sanity. Because that way, when something bad happens, you'll believe me.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
So the first one I want to nip on the head because it made me very cranky is the whole brouhaha over the Apple Watch. It's just, the place went nuts because there's no activation lock on the watch. There's no activation lock on a Rolex. There's no activation lock on any other watch on the planet. So the fact that Apple isn't doing something above and beyond what everyone else is doing is somehow, some way, a scandal. And what really gets me is that the actual news, if you were to apply logic to the situation, is that if you forget your passcode, the only thing you can do is blank the watch and therefore clear your data. So in other words, your data is protected, which surely to goodness is very important.
Right. Well, there's not really much data on the device.
No, but that I imagine that's going to change over the life of the iWatch.
Yeah.
It's going to start
Apple
to
Watch.
contain more. Sorry, Apple Watch.
So hard not to say that.
It's such a long, cumbersome name.
Yeah.
And that's without going into the whole edition and sport and the Apple Watch, and the Apple Watch Sport and the one thing I will say, a secondary story that caused some kerfuffle is the fact that
Okay, I'm gonna call us there, and we're actually probably gonna be just about done here. Steve is saying something I don't understand in our private backwater chat. Backwater isn't quite the right name. Bart said to me it was like the Irish people gave the gay community a big hug. Yeah, it was a happy, happy day. Good stuff. Right. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's give this a call out. Here we go.
Oh, okay. So until next time, happy computing.
All right, that was really, really mean of us, but we ended up going on quite a long time for the actual fun part of this, where I got to experiment and use the modules. So it is a really good episode, but I feel guilty that we left you guys hanging right as we got into the good part. So we sort of did all the hard parts up front, and that's all you got to hear. By the way, I did cut a bunch of parts out where we got kind of lost and got scrambled, but I left in some of the comedy of when I couldn't quite figure out what he was saying to do. But that's going to wind us up for this week. Please head on over to clarify-it.com. Get your free copy of your trial of Clarify, and be sure to tell them I sent you. Don't forget to send in your dumb questions. We did get a dumb question this week. I should probably read that out. I answered a dumb question, but I should probably put that in the show for next time. And send your comments and suggestions to me at allison@podfeet.com. Love to get emails from you guys. I'm probably pretty close to answer every single one. So head on over to allison@podfeet.com. Send me a message. You can follow me on Twitter at Podfeet. Check out the NosillaCast Google Plus community, like we talked about. Gary Benny did this week. Got us over 500 people in there. It's not super chatty, so it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to go in there. So don't get worried that it's too chatty. It's just like the right amount of chatty. If you want to join in the fun of the live show, like Wannabe and John and Nth Mike did, I think Nth Mike, it was his second time here, but the other two had just come here for the first time. They came into the live show by going to podfeet.com/live. You can do that on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic Nosilla castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Ooh, I held that subscribed a long time. Well, I'm just too busy talking to Switcher Mark. Kevin. All right, Midnight Dialogue long. We'll drag that in. I still want to get to where I can show you guys what I'm doing again. Bastian showed me a way to do it where I could play, if I used Boinks TV, where I could play it and broadcast everything back to you guys in a Google Hangout. I'm not sure. I think I have to use a live YouTube link instead. Enthusiastic Nosilla castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Yay. So Dorothy hasn't been in here in quite a while, huh? She's in Alaska on her boat. I'm sure she didn't even try to go see Switcher Mark, because he's always too busy, too much to do. There we go. So I'm dropping in the audio. I always forget that I can stretch this out and get more space, because I always think you guys are going to get confused by it, but you don't, because it doesn't matter anymore. Because you're not watching. It'd be more fun if you guys could watch. I wish I could. Seems like I should be able to do this, because I can change. Where is it? Share, screen share. So I can do this. If I can do a window and show you what I'm doing, let me scrunch that up. So, oh, that didn't work. Well, you can see some of it anyway. It seems to me I should be able to screen share more. There should be a way to do this. One of these days, we've got to experiment and try this out. Okay, so everything I slide it over. Is that medium? All right, a little bit more. Let's see. We got to hear this. Make sure that this is just like the symbols check. 524. Well, a little bit early. 524. Well, today we nailed it. Collect money to ease your burden. You're just going to get yourself some Patreon money. Just, hey, can I have money? I'm sad. All right, let's join those together. I always join these tracks because you get these weird shadow effects. Yeah, I know you can't see me. Can't see my lovely face. Well, what my goal is to get back where I was able to show you guys me and GarageBand at the same time. But it seems to me that at some point it's more interesting to watch what I'm doing than just me. So I'm almost done. Uh-oh. Sorry, I got to stand up. Wait, you can't see me. I'll stop that. All right, I got to stand up because my watch said stand up. I try to beat Steve. Let's see how many stands I've got for today. Actually, I heard that if you wave your arms all around a lot, you get more points for standing. There we go. You can see the top of my head. I'm at there. I just got the 10th. I think I got 10 hours. Is that all of them? Is that right? Got to check that. No, I don't think I got the credit yet. All right. Can I give them Dorothy's link to her boat page? Yeah. Dorothy has a, it's a good idea, Steve. Dorothy has a Tumblr blog where she and her husband post photos and are showing what they're doing. So since she's a good friend of all the NosillaCast castaways here, that would be fun to show off. That's a good idea. All right. Have I stood up long enough? It's been a whole minute. That's all it says it wants. How many minutes should I have so far, Steve, if I started at the 7th hour? I'm exporting. You're at 12? What time zone are you in, Sandy? Oh, how do you like the Milanese loop? Do you like it? Okay, I'm going to sit back down. I don't know if I got credit for that or not. I don't think I did. See, this is a good video here. All right, I'm creating the mix down, which means I am almost done. For the people on audio, this has been fascinating listening to me talk about standing and sitting and all that. So that's great. All right. AGR worked. Oh, good. Ow. I have not. This is one problem. I can't go check on see how the Alpha Geek Radio video is working. It's fun. To move while standing. I'm Pacific. Oh, you're already at 12 hours and I'm at 10? What time do you get up? Oh, you sent the Milanese back. Huh. So you didn't love it, apparently. Oh, didn't like how it looked. Okay. I hope I didn't influence you because I wanted you to like it. I didn't want you to not like it. Sandy and I compared notes a little bit right after I got mine. And I just, it was okay. But for $150, you ought to love it, right? You shouldn't just like it for $150. I think you should love it. So why not, horse? Actually, the reason I'm standing is not to be silly. Well, I'm doing it to be silly, just to entertain you guys. But it's the one metric I think I don't do well enough on. So I do these bursts of amazing amounts of activity. Like I'll run 4 miles on the beach, or I'll do 40 minutes on the elliptical and get my heart rate way up. I'll go for a 3-mile walk with my dog, bunch of flights of stairs, big hills and that kind of thing. But then the rest of the time I sit around like a complete slug. So I think it's the one biggest piece I can improve on. And that's why I'm doing it, is because I've been sitting for an hour. You shouldn't sit for more than an hour without getting up. So I think that's a good idea to go ahead and obey when it says to stand up. Didn't love it, so you sent it back. Yeah, that's good. Maybe, Sandy, we should share notes on searching for a pretty dress-up band. I've started looking, and there are bands available, third-party bands available on Amazon. So I think we should start searching and share notes on that. I'd love to compare with you because I'm looking for something really pretty. Oh, you're a quilter. Oh, I didn't know you're a quilter too. Oh, good. That's excellent. Do you know Michelle? What is Michelle's handle? Michelle can't come here very often because she's working 2 jobs right now, but she's a definite definite crafts person. I go to her a lot on problems. But I am actually done creating the show. So I think I'm going to cut us off. Sandy, let's compare notes. Let's talk. Definitely write to me if you find anything, and I'll send you stuff I find. I don't think I know your email address, Sandy, so maybe you can write to me and we can connect. That'd be really fun. Yeah, that'd be great. Want to run a test on Alpha Geek Radio Podfeed. He's telling me don't. Oh, okay. He was talking to me in the back channel. Let's see. Hold on. Don't stop the stream. Don't cross the streams. Okay. So I'll just vamp. 10 hours now. Grab the first 2 hours I got. before I went to bed last night. Oh, so you go to bed late. But 10 hours. Okay, what do you want me to do, Steve? Oh, he's letting me watch. So this is Alpha Geek.
It's like tested, said it works.
So where's this coming from?
AGR. Well, it's a special AGR feed.
Wow. That looks good. Oh, let's go circular logic here. Wait.
See how much delay.
Okay, hang on. You gotta turn the brightness down so I can see it, but let's see. Do you know that little trick? You have to turn the brightness down. All right, we're going meta here. Ooh, look. 2 in 1. Uh-oh. Just saw a notification from NosillaCast. I don't know what that was. Wait. Oh, it's not focusing very well. That's because I have the focus set to right here. Okay, well, that was pretty fun. I like that that's working. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. I'm smiling at the camera like it'll smile there. Okay. Okay, you be quiet now. All right, everyone. Country signs. That's right. Okay, cool. Yeah. That's actually cool. I didn't know that we had that yet. Well, and tell me to make sure I put that into the show for next week to tell people they can do that. That's very cool. And we should tweet it, and we should Facebook it, and we should LinkedIn it. By the way, you should friend me up on LinkedIn. All I do is spam. All right, guys, I think we should call it, and I'm going to kill the live stream there. And so, Steve, I don't know what you have to do on the Alpha Geek Radio end, but go ahead and close it out. Thanks for your help, John. That's very cool that you helped us test that. That's excellent. I did not know that was working. Alpha Geek Radio rocks. All right, bye.